Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to part 2 of our Power Rankings episode. This is where we kind of give our top 10 for the Overwatch teams in Season 3, 2020. If you're wondering why this one's going to be a little bit quicker, it's because we didn't realize the last one was 30 minutes long. So we're going to try to keep this one a little bit more concise for you guys. We apologize. I think the problem was
Spencer just really loves talking.
I love talking, and also I think 11 to 17 there's a lot of debate amongst the community. This is what that should be. So with that out of the way, trying to keep this as concise as possible, we're going to give you our top 10. If you forgot from previous episode, check that out, as well as mine's more qualitative. It's more what I think is going to happen, and Chris used some weird statistical model that actually, before this episode aired, for the record, Chris had Chengdu Hunters above NYXL, so I had to talk him out of that.
Okay, you're telling me that. Oh, get out of here.
He's seen the light. We were able to convince him. So again, please rip him in the comments for that. Rip him in the. He deserves it. But we're being concise, Chris. You do not get a chance.
I had NYXL at 9 before I fucking.
It's legit the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That's fine. Okay. We're getting out of the way.
Model is not the best right now, but it's something.
Okay. Number 10, the Guangzhou Spark. So this was actually no. Shut up. So you actually had the Guangzhou Spark in your bottom 10 though, right? Like, where did you have them?
I think at 13.
So Chris had them at 13. I had them at number 10. This is one of those teams that I actually think, obviously they had a really successful year last year. They finished top 4. This is a team that, from everything we've heard, has always done really, really well in scrims. They just had the inability to perform on the main stage, but obviously they were able to figure it out because they had a very successful year. The biggest thing about this team is that I saw a lot of other teams improve, and they weren't one of them. I think their DPS lineup is good but not great. I like IDK, but it's good but not great. Obviously, part of this stems from we've been a double shield meta for so long, and with Orisa as Sigma, I don't think Guangzhou is going to be able to carry as much as he needs to in order to take this team to the upper echelon. I do think that this team's a monkey meta away from being top 6. But we can't look at a team how they would perform in their best meta. I have to look at them how they're going to perform overall. So I do agree with Chris having them low. I think 13's a little too low. Built-in chemistry, speaks the same language aside from Guangzhou. So I have faith, and I think their homestands are going to be a lot of fun. That's why I have them at 10. Anything to add?
You know what? I just had them a little lower because it's the same team and they didn't do well for most. It's choked most of the time, apart from last stage. But
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, that's fair enough. So with that being said, number 9.
With that being said,
I did it again. Okay, that's okay. I can do. It's actually only the first time for this video, so it's fine. So with that being said, number 9, I had the Seoul Dynasty. This is a team that you actually have higher. So Chris has them at number 6. I've seen teams put them really high. Everyone sees Profit and they see Gesture and they see, Badozin. The way I looked at this team is they are a worse version of the London Spitfire of last year. And if I had taken the London Spitfire's roster, I wouldn't have them in the top 6 from last year. And it's London Spitfire, but with no Fury, and no previous chemistry.
I think Seoul is London Spitfire revitalized. You know what? They did really well first season. They lost some people. They went off track second season, and now, Seoul's regained the great Dozin, Prophet, Gesture, and they're kind of just going to revitalize it. That's how I see it.
If this team had kept Fleta, I completely agree. The problem is, I think London Spitfire from last year was good, and then other teams came in, other Korean contenders came in, and they showed that they could also perform at a really high level. And then this year, it's like if London Spitfire got worse, and then all the better teams around London just got better, right? With Philadelphia got better, Shanghai got a lot better, the Charge got a lot better. San Francisco Shock obviously got a lot better. You know what I'm trying to say, though? Atlanta Reign got a lot better. A lot of teams improved, and I look at this being like London Spitfire as if they got worse. Who do you run between Marvel and Gesture? There's an argument to be said that Marvel's the better option. So I expect them to make a trade because there's actually a lot of teams that could probably use a main tank. I've heard good things about Fitz and Illicit, but I just haven't seen enough for me to put them in the upper echelon. I had them at 9. Chris has them at 10. Let's move on to number 8. Interesting team, though. So this might be my hottest take. Chris has them at 2. I have them at 8. And that is the Atlanta Reign.
Spicy take.
So I'll tell you where I might put them after we've done the top 10. The reason I have this team low as I do, I think this team, everyone keeps telling me about the DPS lineup. and how good. First of all, I've never seen Edison play, so I don't know how good Edison is. Apparently, he's a god. And if Edison's an absolute beast and he's legitimately one of the best hit scan players in the league, then I have the right to be like, well, sorry, I haven't seen him play yet, and that's fair. So I can stick to that guns. So I agree their DPS is really good with Erster, Sharp, and Edison. The problem is I'm so sick and tired of people talking about how the Toronto Defiant are a bottom 5 team. You're included, Chris. You're included in this. A bottom 5 team because their tank line isn't good, and then they put Atlanta at number 2 with Gator and Hawk. Now, I'm not saying Gator and Hawk are going to be bad. I actually think they're both pretty good. I'm just saying, a bit of me is salty because I think Beast and Nevix is just as good, if not could be better. I like the support line. I think Massa and Dogman's really good. I think the DPS line is really good. I have a lot of question marks with the tank lineup, and that's why I put them as low as I put them.
I will say that I'm not the ones that are arguing tank lineup stuff for Toronto.
Fair. But still.
What I am saying is that I think that DPS in the next season is going to matter more than tanks. How good your DPS are. And I just like Alliance DPS.
I don't know if I agree with that assumption. I understand the assumption you're taking, but I don't know if I agree with that assumption. Yeah, Baby he's not even going to see playtime, though, right? With Edison, Erster, and... I mean, I guess he's a good backup, but you expect it to be Edison and Erster is really what people are saying, and you have Sharp as a backup.
I mean, like, if Bebe's a backup and he's that good, like, he's got a good DPS lineup.
For sure.
And the thing is, it depends on, like, what state we're doing with barriers. Because if we have, like, soft barriers and people are taking a lot more off angles, and there's a lot more off-angle poke and stuff, then DPS is going to see a lot more importance.
Yeah, and you still have Pokebo as a backup main tank. And I really like the support line. I think Massa and Dogman's really, really good.
Yeah, I love Dogman and Massa.
But I don't know. So I maybe should switch in with my number 5 team, and this would be a little bit more complete, and I might do that at the end, but we'll see. With that being said, number 7, I believe, is the Guangzhou Charge. So this is a team that you also had in your bottom 10, which really surprised me. You had them at 12. I have them at 7.
Yeah, it was hard for me to do. They have some players that, to be honest with, I'm not really too familiar with, and then lots of it's once again the same players.
Yeah, I understand that losing Hotba is a problem, but from what I've heard, Krong's really good. But sorry, continue. I cut you off a little bit there.
No. That was kind of most of that. It's lots of the same players. They did decent last year. They actually had a good stage 4.
But yeah, because the big part about stage 4 is they added, Nero became of age. Like when Nero became of age and started playing for this team instantly became really good. Now the concerns around this team are, again, the mixed roster, the inability to create synergy from that perspective. Krong's supposed to be really good. I haven't seen him play. At least on the Overwatch League stage, so I don't know how good he's actually going to be. This is a team that I love their DPS lineup of Happy, Eileen, and Nero. I think that's a very solid DPS lineup. Shu's a fantastic flex support player. I love Neptuno because I think the pharmacy between Neptuno and Nero can be disgusting. Like that could be the best pharmacy in the entire league. And then if not, you still have Char to back him up for the language stuff like that. Rio's pretty good. I think this is a really good roster. I wanted to put them higher, I just couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like other people more, to be honest. I just like other people. I just like it.
All right, I mean, fair enough. So for my number 6 team, this is a team that you actually have. Let me just check here. You actually have them at number 4, so you have them higher than I do, and that's the Shanghai Dragons. This is a team that they did add. So before, I had this whole thing about how are you going to compete with Stand 1 being your only main tank. They just added Fearless, which is a really good move for this team. This team probably, almost certainly has the best DPS lineup in the league with Fleta, Ding, Diem, and oh my god, and Lip, who looked really good in that Chinese tournament that they ran. I know you don't want to put a ton of effort in there, but it still happened. Teams did take it somewhat seriously. I know they were scrimming for it, so take that with what you will. Their DPS lineup's disgusting. Izyaki's a really good flex support player. I think Void, everyone talks trash about Void as not being a good off tank, but then all of his underlying numbers show that he's one of the best off tanks in the league. So I'm going to be really excited to see him play alongside. Now, the issue is playing alongside Fearless or Stand 1. I don't know how that's going to work out, but he's a really good off tank. This is a disgusting DPS lineup, and I really like Izayaki as a flex support player. And Luffy's...
and I want to point out that...
Li Jae-gong. They also have Li Jae-gong from Runaway.
And I'm like, why the hell...
It's a really good team.
Are you continuously... Why do you have them so low then? Like, why...
Well, I mean, I have them at 6. right? Like, it's not like I had them low. You have them at 4, I have them at 6. I agree that my number 5 team might be my hottest take. It might be the most Kool-Aid next to my number 2 team that I've been drinking. But that's fine.
Yeah, I will put what I did like about Shanghai is I like the.
So you're cutting out a bit. What?
Sorry, what I did like about Shanghai is I do like their head coach Moon. He had some decent success in the first season of Owl, as well as Contenders 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like pointing this out because it's like just fun stats.
Izayaki.
Is it
that one? I know I got right.
Izayaki.
I never pronounced that.
Has 7,600 or 7,700 damage per average for 10 minutes. He's a support. He has better damage than the top damage dealers on Houston, LA Gladiators, or Paris.
Yeah.
Although LA Gladiators, I don't have any DPS stats.
Yeah.
Right now.
Birdman.
But definitely Houston and Paris.
Yeah.
He literally have better. He is.
No, I know. Izayaki's a fantastic flexible player, and I mean, again, with Li Jae-gong coming from Runaway with a really good support, a DPS lineup. The issue is their main tank. Like, their main tank, as much as I actually have like not a lot of faith in their main tank position. And then people I like Void, and I love looking at players' underlying numbers and seeing when they're being underrated by the community. I think Void is that player, but it's tough for me when everyone keeps telling me how bad he is. You know what I mean? But I think Void's better than people think. So I want to put them higher. I have really good faith in my top 4, and I maybe sipping too much Kool-Aid for number 5. So with that transition, see, I'm switching up my vocabulary. Let's get number 5. Probably my hottest take of the entire thing, the LA Gladiators. Now I know Chris has them at a more reasonable number 9. That seems to be where the community is putting them. I think the biggest thing for me is obviously everybody's going to talk about the DPS lineup. It is by far the biggest question mark on this team. And when you have a top 5 team, it hurts for there to be such a large question mark. My rationale is I kind of am optimistic, and I hope Birdring, under a new coaching staff, arguably a better coaching staff, under living in LA, a new situation can be revitalized. I actually really like Mirror. I think he's a really good DPS player as well. And Jaru I know less about, but I think he fixed that like sort of Genji role. I think that Space and OGE, in combination with the amount of like healing and resources, so they can create all those spaces. Sorry, the tank line can create all that space, no pun intended, with Space and OGE. And I think it's an incredible tank line. That's one of the best tank lines in the entire league. They're going to obviously get the resources because I think Shaz and Big Goose is one of the best support lineups in the entire league. And I think when you have that much space created and that much and that good of a support line to go along with the tanks, I think it opens up so much room for the DPS. So I don't mind that the DPS is the question mark of this team because I think it's not going to be necessary. I think Birdring, if he gets revitalized, can become another top tier DPS player, and I hope that Mirror performs really well. I have a lot of faith in him, but I think the DPS in the tank lineup is so solid that it's just going to open up room for the DPS players to do well.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. That's for sure.
And I love Space. I think Space is.
I know. I think Shaz. I will point out Shaz has 10k heals per average 10 minutes, which is really high.
Yeah.
OGE seems like a good player, but I thought his main guy was Ryan.
No. OG's I think a better monkey. I think OG was more known for his monkey. The problem with OGE was he was very inconsistent. Like he had a lot of ups, he had a lot of downs. But he was playing for the Dallas Fuel. Like you take him out of that coaching staff and you put him under the LA Gladiators coaching staff with that environment. I think it's just a recipe for success. I think the tank line is going to be disgusting, and I have heard that these two guys want to play with one another.
Mixed roster though.
They do for the most part, but OG I think can speak English. Like he's played mixed rosters before. I'm not too worried about him. The biggest question mark is Birdring. But this is a team that might need another DPS player. So by far the biggest question mark, but I don't care. Personally, I think it's gonna be really, really good. I have a lot of faith in this team.
Okay, what's up next?
Number 4, who you almost had number 9 for some reason, but I at least talked you up to number 7, is the NYXL, New York Excelsior. Just always a really good team. I love the addition of Who Are You, because worst case, he's as good as everyone knows he can be. So that's best case is he's like absolutely insane. Genji becomes meta and he pops the fuck off and like carries his team to a top 3 position. If he doesn't work out, you still have Sayobi and Nene, and Libero. So it's not like you're relying on a question mark like that. Obviously, they got Jonak and Ottoman, which is a fantastic support line. Mono is one of the best main tanks in the league. And Hotba, I think, is really good as well. And they're going to stop playing the reactive style. They're going to start playing a more aggressive style because obviously they don't have Pavane as their coaching anymore. And obviously with players like Hotba and Who Are You, it sort of signifies that they're going to be more aggressive. And I'm really, really looking forward to how this team can perform when they're pushing the pace and not just trying to react.
Yeah.
So why you got to tell me, you had them at number 9. You got to give me some, you know what I mean? I got to hear your reasoning why you had them so low.
Yeah. I mean, like, I just thought that, like, first off, they really dropped off the 2-2-2. They kind of like...
Yeah, but they went on the run. They finished like 3rd place, right? They went on a huge run in the playoffs.
Yeah, but in the playoffs, like it's like those playoff teams that finished like 15th in stage 4.
So...
And I think that
Orisa.
Mono's
Orisa was debatable, but yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, lots of reason why they were really good was because of their teamwork. And they've lost a lot of these, like, Meko, Mano, like that was like a classic
tank line,
duo tank line where they worked really well together, and they don't have.
Yeah,
but and Jonak was like great when like he's a good Ana. Like he was a great Ana, better, freaking ball throw. I'm losing my train of thought here. But he's kind of lackluster for I think the last 2 stages. And I just don't know where he's going to go after this. And I don't think it's worth being that high. Once again, like, all these plays that have been made, like, are putting lots of question marks around them for me. They're not as stable.
I don't know. For me, they've been consistently such a good team. Jonak is lackluster only because he wasn't an MVP. He's still one of the best flex supports in the entire league. And I think that Hotba, I really like Who Are You, Bianca coming in there. I think it's a stacked team. I expect nothing but really high results moving forward. So let's move on to number 3. Number 3 for me was the Philadelphia Fusion. I am drinking some people, bro. I'm getting so sick and tired of people being like Sato, and therefore they're like number 7. I think it's absolute Pega take. I don't think like is Sato a top 5 main tank? Probably not. But there's no way he is so bad that you can overlook Carpe EQO, Ivy as your DPS lineup, that you can overlook Fury as your off tank, and then you can overlook Alarm, Boombox, and Funny Astro as your support players. We've heard fantastic things about Funny Astro. Alarm was supposed to be for the longest time the best flex support outside of the Overwatch League. Fury's the best flex tank, if not off tank, if not the second best off tank in the entire league. We've seen Ivy at his best. We know how he can perform. Carpe and EQO is iconic. Poco, for God's sakes, is their backup tank. Like, bro, I am so high on this team. And I don't know why people are putting them so low and just being like, well, Sato. Like, every team has a question mark. And if this becomes a monkey meta, oh my God, this team's the best team in the, like, you know what I mean?
I will add like a random, and that is a random other thing is that they have a big coaching staff. They literally have 3 analysts. I think their coaching staff's like 6 people.
Yeah.
Just their coaching, not including their head coach. But they have a bunch of resources behind them. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. I think Funny Astro is going to be one of the best main supports in the entire league. I think Alarm is going to be one of the best flex supports in the entire league. I think Fury is going to be one of the best off tanks in the entire league. I think Ivy, EQO, and Carpe is going to be one of the best DPS lineups in the entire league. Like, it's like 5 out of 6 positions are top 5 in the entire league, if not top 3.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sato was that bad. I don't think he's top 5, but he's not, like, I think this team could be a top 18 with fucking Yakpung. You know what I mean? Like,
yes. Okay, let's move on.
So sorry, people have been putting them way too lower. I'm drinking all the Kool-Aid on this team. So yeah, moving on to number 2. Another team I'm drinking a lot of the Kool-Aid on is Vancouver Titans. So you have them. Oh, I actually mentioned. So you actually had Philadelphia at number 5. So you had them lower than I did, and you have Vancouver at number 3, which is a little bit closer to what I have them at.
Yeah.
We're going to keep this one short.
Right now, though, right?
Yeah, number 2. We're going to keep this one short because we might do a Canadian preview show where we go more in depth. I want to keep it short and sweet. People
Twilight
say
is sick.
Twilight, yeah, exactly, Twilight.
And Fissure.
Yeah, Fissure.
Fissure could be great, but that's gonna if Fissure's a wild card here. Fissure either makes them second or like fifth.
But here's the thing. I think people keep saying this team's nothing without Bumper, and they forget that they literally sat Bumper in the playoffs and then won the brackets and went to the finals with Tizzy, right? They're like, this team can't function without Bumper. I'm like, I literally watched them function in the playoffs perfectly fine, win the winner's bracket, and then lose to a really good San Francisco Shock team. So, yeah, if Fisher works and this team plays around Fisher the way they played around Bumper, this is going to be one of the best teams in the league. If you get a monkey meta as well as this team works around Fisher, I honestly think this is the best team in the league. I really want to put this team first. I just couldn't do it. So we can move on to number 1. No surprise here. We'll go in more detail. If you guys want to see Canadian Breakdown, again, follow us, like it, subscribe, all those fun stuff. That'll be coming out early February. Stop asking for DMs. My God. And then so number 1, both of us have it at number 1. Everyone has that number 1. Not much to say here.
My mother has my number 1.
Yeah, exactly. San Francisco Shock. They're just stacked at every single lineup. Super, I think it's one of the best main tanks in the league, alongside Smurf.
I love Violet.
Violet's fantastic. Choyobin's one of the best off tanks in the league. Sinatra probably is the best player in the entire league. Rascal is fantastic. Striker's really good. Moth is probably the best main support in the entire league. Architect's a really good team. You're right. Like, this team is so stacked in every way, shape, and form. Fantastic coaching staff in Krusty. Essentially meta-proof. They're my number 1 until proven otherwise. I think Vancouver can challenge them. I think Philadelphia can challenge them. But all that's meta-dependent. The team I'm most comfortable across all metas is San Francisco Shock. And that's that. Anything else to add there, Chris?
No, you said it perfectly. Hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
they rock.
They're such a good team.
I love you, Sinatra.
Oh my God, shut up. So now that we got that out of the way, guys. Again, I hope this one was a little bit more concise. That's our top 20. That's our power rankings. Feel free to roast us in the comment sections below. I'm actually going to put up everyone's top 10s first for mine and Chris's. That way you guys can, again, who's do you like better? Who's like worse? Do we have certain people too high, too low? What I was going to say is I could probably switch the Gladiators and Atlanta Reign, and it might be a little bit more in line it might be a safer pick to put Atlanta at number 5, Gladiators at number 8, and then I'm really confident.
Awesome shit.
I really like that support lineup, and I really like that tank lineup. So that's probably the hottest takes I have outside of Vancouver at number 2. I think people who have Vancouver, man, I think you're sipping so much Kool-Aid on Fisher's going to blow this entire team up. I mean, there's obviously stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about, but we'll get into that more later. That's our top 10. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, all this fun stuff. We're going to be back in action with our Toronto Defiant analysis for 2020 when the season starts up, as well as Call of Duty League. We're going to follow that as well. Yeah. So if you're a big Toronto esports fan, you're a Call of Duty fan, we're going to be following the Toronto Ultra. Probably put out a video of that in the next coming days. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
Awesome. Enjoy.